Hello ladies and gentlemen, Reginald Scott here. Let me ask you a question. Are you paying too much for your energy drinks? Well, the answer to that question is yes, even before you answer the question yourself. Because if you're buying your energy drinks, then you're definitely paying too much. If you go for a branded energy drink, you are paying a huge amount of money. I remember when I first started buying energy drinks, I used to get this powder energy drink. It came in a tub, and it was like 20 quid. For even a small tub of this energy drink. And I don't really think that's worth it. So I'm about to go out on a ride now and I'm going to tell you what I do. And it's not something that's very complicated. You can find recipes for this online, but I thought I would share it with you just in case you were falling for the advertising and hype around, specialist energy drink providers. So I'm doing a bit of advertising here by mistake, but there you go. It just happens to be the bottle I'm going to use. Get yourself a container, glass is fine, pot, wood, whatever you happen to use in your kitchen, the skull of your enemy. Stick it down on a set of scales and set it to grams, and then all you're going to do, this is a 500 and, so you can see the mark 400 there, there's about 550 millilitres in this bottle as far as I can estimate. So for a bottle of this size, which I would take with me if I was doing a ride like over an hour. If I'm doing more than 45 minutes to an hour, then I tend to take an energy drink. If it's less than 45 minutes, I just take water. So if I'm commuting to work, my ride's about 25 minutes, I don't bother with an energy drink. I just drink straight up water. But like I say, if I'm actually going out with a club or I'm doing a training ride, then I will take an energy drink. So 550 millilitres of that, and then just start spooning into your container on the scales sugar. And this is all that's in an energy drink. Like a can of Coke, believe it or not, contains 35 grams of sugar. And that's actually 15 grams supposedly more than you're supposed to take in one day according to health specialists. But there you go, and it depends what you're doing with your day. Right, so that's about 30 grams of sugar. Most of these energy drinks are absolutely chock-a-block full of sugar. There we go, 30 grams, that'll do. Interesting fact for you. This is some Ribena, we give this to children. It's, whoops, not my tripod. It's regarded as, a child-friendly drink, isn't it? Believe it or not, diluted, so 4 parts to 1 part, 1 part Ribena to 4 parts water. This contains more sugar than this energy drink. There's, what is it now? It is, so per 100 millilitres of diluted Ribena, you've got 10 grams of sugar. 10 grams per 100 millilitres. That means in this bottle, 550, yeah, you guessed it, 55 grams of sugar. Could you believe that? If I just filled this with Ribena, 55 grams of sugar, I'm putting 30 grams of sugar in my energy drink, and that sounds like a lot, but it just goes to show that it's not. I actually bought this to flavour my energy drinks, and then when I realised how much sugar was in it, I was quite shocked. Anyway, so there you are, 30 grams of sugar, but the recipe's not complete yet. This is the really complicated part. Salt. So get some salt. This replaces the salt that you lose during your ride, and also it helps you hydrate yourself. You need salt in order for hydration to work properly. And I just get a pinch of salt, pop that in there in the sugar. Maybe a little bit more. I actually really like this. It's surprising how tasty salt and sugar is. It's got all the things you need. Once you've done that, add some hot water. So I boiled the kettle earlier. This is a kettle I boiled earlier. And start mixing it up. Simple as that, really. So I'll allow that to dissolve. Now, in my bottle, I'm going to stick something to flavour my drink. And what I like to use is fruit juice. My favourite one to use is a multi-fruit fruit juice that comes with carrot and mango and lime and all these random things in it, because it's just tasty. But today I don't have that. All I've got today is plain old orange juice. Now if you can get fresh orange juice, so you can squeeze your own oranges, that's probably best. Unfortunately, this is from concentrate, so it contains quite a lot of sugar in it of itself. But yeah, I just add orange juice. So, and in here, about 200 of orange juice. 200 ml does me quite happily. Once that's happened, I add my sugary salty solution. And then I top it off with water. Now I sometimes change the amounts depending on what time of year it is and what the weather's like outside. Obviously if it's a hot day, it'll contain more water than orange juice. If it's a shorter ride, there may be less sugar, maybe only 25 grams of sugar. And of course, just increase the amounts dependent on how big your bottle is as well. As I say, there's about 550 millilitres here. And finally, people might start saying, well, you see, the reason why sports drinks, specialist sports drinks, are so expensive is they contain lots of specialist chemicals and minerals which the human body needs in order to perform at its max peak. And, you can't get that by just adding salt and sugar to some orange juice and some water. Now I would usually stick this in the fridge, but it's absolutely freezing outside, so rather than doing that, I'm just going to keep it warm. And my answer to that is, here we are, cheap packet of multivitamins. If you really wanted to, I recently found out these things are a complete waste of time, but if you were desperate, absolutely desperate, to make your homemade energy drink as realistic as possible to the professionally made ones, all I'd do is I'd get a multivitamin that contains, what does this one contain? This one contains Vit B, Vit C, zinc, vitamin B2 and biotin and chromium. So there you go. All those lovely chemicals in there. All I'd do is I'd crush that up and drop it in. And then when I was drinking, give the bottle a quick shake. I actually tried this. All I did was crush this on a plate, sprinkle the powder into my drink, and then just mix it up like that. Then every time I drank, I just gave it a quick mix, because it tends to fall to the bottom. These minerals are quite heavy. So yeah, just stick it in there, give it a quick shake and drink it. So you're getting some of the minerals and vitamins at the same time, if you wanted to do that. And then there we go, you would have basically as close to a professional energy drink as you like. In fact, one of the pro athletes ones probably contains even more sugar than this. But essentially that's all these things are. It's just sugar, flavouring and water, and a nice pinch of salt. Don't forget the salt. If you forget the salt, I don't know, something terrible will happen. There you go, folks. That was my very simple video on how to save yourself a huge pile of money and be really smug the next time you go out riding with your mates who have spent 20 quid on an energy drink that really gives them no more benefit than this. And believe me, this works. I mean, it does exactly the same job as the other ones I used to buy. Anyway, stay safe, nice talking to you. Reginald Scott, over and out.